What is up, Hans family? I know it has been a minute. I have been sick for the last week or so, and I filmed this tutorial before I got sick, but I've been trying to wait till I was completely better to put it up. But you know what? Fuck it. You're just gonna have to hear a little bit of my raspy voice. I've been wanting to do a graphic, really high contrast kind of pop art look for a long time now, so this is it, just using black and white. This look is perfect if you're a beginner and you're just kind of wanting to learn a little bit about light and shadow. I got you. Starting with my bare face and a ponytail, I was feeling like really sassy about this ponytail, as you can see. I like to use Facetune to draw out my look sometimes. It really does help to kind of give an idea of where I'm going with it. I'm going to be starting out with the NYX Jumbo Milk Pencil that's overexposed as shit. And here I'm deciding which side I want to be more of my light side and which side I want to have most of the shadow. Since we're only working with black and white, our shadow and highlight is very limited, obviously because it's just two colors. So we'll really use this to define where our features are going to be, especially since I'm just doing a regular old lady. But you could incorporate this into any other look, like a zombie or a skull, pretty much whatever. I like using this white pencil to sketch where I do want the white to be, and also because it's very easy to erase if you do mess up. When sketching, keep with super organic shapes and just go with the features that you do already have. Make sure that your collarbones show through. The high points of your face would be white. And if you're struggling at all, you can always go and look at some really graphic novel type artwork to see where they put a lot of the highlights and shadows. With this Sigma F70 brush, which is just a concealer brush, and a Mehron Paradise paint in white, I'm just going to spray a little bit of water onto the paint so it's nice and creamy so I can put it all over my body. And the brush is really going to matter here because you do want a nice and defined tip. This is probably one of my favorite all-time brushes for body painting because it's very defined. Fill in all of your face that is going to be white, and I liked adding a lot of these little white accent lines that I am going to be putting on the black side just because that will help to show some features even when it's just completely stark black. I mean, just like pop art, that's 2D, so they use lines to show the different features to make it look a little more three-dimensional. Oh, my voice, you can hear it gets real raspy. Just like any body paint that's light colored, it's going to be a little patchy, so you may have to go over it a couple times, and even then, my way of getting a really opaque base is going in with a larger buffing brush, and I'm using the Special Effects paint from NYX. It's a cream paint, and I'm just going to go over that in stippling motions just to make it not nice and patchy. Because boy oh boy, sometimes getting a full white base is a bitch and a half. Now that's all done, we just want to take the black paint. This is also from Mehron Body Paint, and I'm still using that same Sigma brush, the F70 I used earlier, and I'm going to fill in pretty much everywhere else that I left open. This is exactly why going in with such a defined brush is so important, because cleaning up the white with the black is going to be so much easier, just because trying to put white over black, you're going to have to layer it just to get rid of that dark tone. If you end up mixing the colors way too much, then it can kind of look a little gray, and we just want to stay in the black and white region. So try the best that you can to just go over it with your first clean swipe, but if you can't, you can always clean up. It's fine, it's not the end of the world. I fuck up plenty in this tutorial and have to clean up. Like I said earlier, as with every pop art, use the black on the light side to your advantage to carve out that cheekbone, give yourself a little contour if you can, and I use the black to pretty much outline my entire body too. A really great way to also have this kind of trick the eye as much as possible is to blend this really well into your hairline. Or if you're wearing a black wig or a white wig, then psh, you're all good. The body's a little different because there's not, I guess, as many features as the face. So I just kind of went with carving out where my collarbones is, my little jugular hole, but I kept the body pretty simple. Still keep with the theme of one side being lighter and one side being darker, but use the other opposite color to just add those little accent marks. Fill in the lips with black or white. You can do whichever you want, but I did black for the top lip, a little bit under the bottom, but I left a little bit open in the middle for some white because my bottom lip is catching some of that highlight, and it helps to bump up the contrast of the lips even more. Here I'm adding a little bit of the white on top of the black to accentuate that cupid's bow, and that works just fine, but make sure that that black layer is completely dry before putting that white layer on, or else it will mix into gray. I defined the lips just a little bit more with a small little brush, And I switched over to a Sigma E10, I believe this is, a little eyeliner brush, to start drawing in the black accent lines now. I only did one eyebrow up on this bitch because we know how I feel about eyebrows, but it really wasn't too bad because I got to just paint my own. And you know, had to do my classic little beauty mark. Just remember when working with the black and the white that the black is pretty much there to show a shadow. So when adding down the collarbones, I did add a nice big shadow there because that's where my collarbone goes inwards. Everything is really pretty relative, you guys, to like contour and highlight. It's just now simplifying it into paint and kind of changing it up a little bit into organic shapes. I covered both of my eyes in black paint just because I thought I was going to be wearing contacts for this look. And I was going to attempt to put in a black sclera on one side, but I was like, fuck that. Those are hard to put in. I'm not into it. And so after I did this, I decided that I was just going to paint on my eyelids instead of trying to wear contacts. So my eyes have not been down with contacts lately. Well, colored contacts. I still have to wear my prescription. Anyways, besides the point. So I'm taking white body paint and I'm looking down at my mirror and I'm drawing some eye-like shapes, and I'm pretty much just using my own eyes as a reference to get the shape as normal looking as possible. And though this method worked and I did get it to finally be opaque white, I really had to layer on the product. And so if you are doing this and want to paint on your eyelids, I would just suggest not painting your entire eyelid black beforehand. Let it dry between layers, and I set the living shit out of it as well with some white eyeshadow, which is just from Sugarpill. I painted this ear white earlier, and I decided to define it just a little bit with some more black body paint. And while I have that out, I just define the eyes a little bit more and cover off all of the white fallout that I did get onto my face. The mouth itself and my little Cupid's bow area did not have enough shadow, so I'm just adding that in a little bit to show that I do have those little features there, and there would be a shadow casting down from my nose. Since the two sides of the faces are so different, the eye on the darker side should be a little different too. Just darken out the outer corner a little bit, and I added back in some little white kind of glossy highlights on the outside of where the eye would be. Final tip too is to use your phone to take a picture of yourself with your eyes completely closed so you can actually see how the look looks. This will help to improve anything if you're like, yeah, this looks okay, and then you look at a picture and like, no, this fucking doesn't look okay, what the fuck? And that is it, you guys. It's really super simple. It's pretty easy. I hope you learned a couple tricks. If you recreate this, please tag me. I'd love to see it. I'd love to see your different variants of the creation. And thank you guys so much for watching. I really appreciate it. And please subscribe if you haven't already. And I just love the absolute fuck out of you guys. And I'll see you later. Bye.